Hi there. Today we are going to go over the newest custom features for your Nature Select distributor website. We are very excited to roll this phase 2 out, and I'll just go ahead and get started. So when you log into your portal, you're going to see your dashboard like this. You're going to come over here and click on the little shopping cart icon. Obviously I'm logged in as ours for Southern California, but you're going to come into your site section. And in the last video we talked about updating your location, your store hours, social media, and any other settings like your story and custom stuff. The newest items are testimonials and news, which is essentially your blog. So I will go over both of these items, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact corporate, and let's get started. So you're going to come over to your testimonials. I've already added a couple in here, so this is where it's going to show on your site. So when your customers are on your website, the quickest way to get here is in the drop down of Why Nature Select and Testimonials. And there's a View All category, Partners and Customers. So partners can be any groomers you work with, local shelters, maybe you guys have great testimonials from different organizations you've sponsored or helped out over the years. Those all make great testimonials. Obviously, the more you have in here, the less plain it looks, so the more you have, the better. I'll go ahead and make a sample one here. So the title is mostly just for you to keep track of it on the back end. It doesn't really matter, but most of the time I just give it the same thing as the name. So if we were going to come here and we'll make her a customer, I always like to give a last initial. If you're going to be using this for your local customers, obviously, and you want to give them first and last name shout out, if they give you the permission to use their full name, go for it. Otherwise, you can kind of do this however you want. You can do Diana, Diana C, whatever you prefer. And the testimonial is text only, so if they submit it to you through email or over the phone, you're welcome to edit it so everything is grammatically correct, but here we go. And everything's pretty instantaneous, so as soon as you refresh the page, you'd see it here. Of course, it looks a little plain, but it's just for an example purpose. So this is how people will see your testimonials. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. If you have any questions, again, always ask us for help. So the main thing we're ready to show you guys today is the news section. So this was a very tricky part because we wanted to make sure it flowed with our existing blog. So for our Nature Select blog, which is just our web address /news, of course you're used to seeing all these categories, and I pretty much update this weekly. You can search, so it'll operate the exact same way. Here's our SoCal version. So you'll notice there's some here that are not showing on the corporate, and the reason being is because I've created these for us only, so it shows up only at our web address. So I've made 2 examples here, and then I'll also do just like a test one so you can see from start to finish. The newest updates is this community category, and this is where you will put a majority of anything local you do. So there's kind of 2 ways to organize things. There's the main top level categories, and you're welcome to use any of these categories to store your different personalized blog posts on your site. Obviously for Nature Select News, that's where I put our announcement about our upcoming move. We're going to a new office and warehouse location, so I just did this as an example today. You'll see when I go back here, Nature Select News is the top category, but these other ones, SoCal and Local, those are tags. So tags are going to be your kind of additional way to organize and file everything, so everything is organized and easy to find. Right now on our news for our Nature Select page, if you click summer, for example, on this tag, everything that's been tagged summer comes up. So you get everything from 4th of July post to beginning of the summer post. Same thing, we could click patriotic. Anything patriotic I tag will all be pulled together, and it'll just keep going. So this is a nice feature for you guys because like I've done, we only have a couple so far, but SoCal and local would probably be my go-to for anything that pertains specifically to us. Partners, there's only one right now, but this is probably, I will use this for anything we talk about when we have events coming up, when we have sponsorship deals, things like that, special things going on for us here locally and our customers in the community. So the community thing, I will not be adding to it on our news for corporate. So that category right now, if you click it, nothing comes up. I'll probably only put like 1 or 2 in there. And the reason being that will be kind of reserved for distributors. So when you look at Nature Select News, because I wrote something today, it has the newest date. So it's going to be showing ahead of anything I've written in this category for corporate. So what's nice about this news is it's a great way for you to write great content, get the word out there about if you're having a sale or if you have like a newsletter you do every month and you kind of want to write something up. You're welcome to do that, but you don't have to have the constant responsibility to write tons and tons of content since I'm already doing it for you. Everything will flow into your news automatically from corporate. So again, anything I write before that is time-stamped after anything I've written, it will show up first. And same thing with featured articles. You're allowed to feature up to 3, and they do pop in here on the right-hand side of the screen when you're logged into the news. It also displays on the home page of your website. So if you scroll down to the bottom under your featured products, you'll see the news. So right now I have the 2 I wrote today and then grain-free dog food because that's already featured on the corporate news. So the way that will kind of work right now, these are the top 3 I have featured for corporate. So because I only have 2 featured on our SoCal local page, grain-free is kind of being pushed in the 3rd spot because it's the oldest. So let's say this was something about your delivery schedule. You wrote this on Monday, Tuesday, and you wrote this one tomorrow, Wednesday. It'll always be most recent to oldest. And you can always update these at any time. And I'll kind of hit on that when we go back here. So let me just refresh here. Awesome. So for the sample one, so when you write your news article, you're going to come again to your site section, your news, and click on new post. And as long as you save something, you can come back to it anytime. You don't have to sit down, write it, and post it right away. Whenever you get some free time, if it's kind of something lengthy or an announcement for your customers, of course, you're always welcome to change it, edit it at any time. So I'm just kind of doing a fall type blog post to show you as an example. So to categorize it, I would put this as seasonal just because it is about fall. Here's the tagging feature. So because it's seasonal, we could put fall, promotions, whatever. These could be really whatever you want. Keep in mind you want to probably keep it at the max 3 to 4 just because the more you put, the longer it gets here. So if you want to keep everything on one line underneath your teaser, it will make it a little cluttered. So try to keep it to 2 to 3 at the max. If you have to, 4. As you get using it more and more, you'll probably get the hang of things of how you'd like to categorize stuff. So the most common would be kind of SoCal for your location or whatever nickname you want to give it. So anything local to you. You could do local, events, newsletters, sales, promos, whatever. Anything you want. Okay. So I'm going to make something super short just for an example, but and again, you're welcome to edit the text. You can kind of do a little bit of everything here. If you ever have a video you want to embed, you can just copy and paste the YouTube, Vimeo link, or if you have your own embed link from YouTube, you can always put those here. If you don't utilize video stuff, that's totally fine. Let's see. So you could do lists. Oops. You could always change the format. So basically this just makes it like a header. So if you kind of have a lengthy topic, I usually like to do that to kind of break it up. Okay. And if you ever want to link to something, so let's say you were trying to feature your new biscuits for fall, you could always press this link here and insert your product link on your site. It can either be opened in a new tab or it could just take it straight to it. I usually click open in a new tab, so that way if they still want to continue to read the blog but also kind of look at the product later, it'll just open up here in a new tab, so that's pretty nice. And then for the image, this is probably the most tricky part of it. We want to keep this as organized as possible. So when you're uploading images, keep in mind it does have to be a JPEG file. If it's too large of an image, it will ask you to resize it and it'll tell you, give you like an error message. So basically nothing will happen. It won't let you do anything. So you will click upload here. You'll click here. I am using this one as an example. So see how it went all the way blue and it's giving me the option to select. You'll click this here and notice it is 50 megabytes max and it does have to be a JPEG file. And the way I named it, this is a great way to make sure you don't break anything and also so you don't overwrite any images. So I usually will recommend putting your little location nickname in here with like an underscore or a dot or something, and then some sort of description, so fall dog, and then I put the date, just so you can kind of keep track of everything, and that way if you are looking for a certain image later on, you could type in fall, and anything you've tagged with fall would come up. So it's a great way to stay organized. So you press select. SEO you can kind of ignore for the most part, just because it's not going to really have a factor. And then options. So you want to make sure this is enabled. Do you want it to be a featured post? Sure. It'll automatically timestamp it when you're working on it. But let's say, okay, fall is the end of September, so I want this to go live the 28th, for example. And you can change the time. Let's say at 4 p.m. on the 28th, you want it to go live. It would be programmed to go live at that time on your blog. So it would not show up here until it hits that day. So it's a great way to keep in mind when you're working on, next month's special sales, or maybe you're trying to plan the holiday schedule. You can do all that stuff in advance and kind of work on it here and there and then make it go live. And again, even after something is live, you can still edit it. For the example purpose, I'll just do today's date. That's 3:02. So there we go. You want to make sure you press save. You can view it now. Oops. Let's go back here. And there it is. So it looks like I forgot to give a little teaser. So I always forget to do this, but the teaser is in the field section. You just have to scroll all the way down. Make sure you check out flavors of fall. Whatever, it could be anything you want. Save it, it'll automatically reflect. And there it is. And again, notice how it gets put in front of everything. Here's your top level category, seasonal, and then my tags, fall, promotions, and specials. I did make it a featured post, so notice it pushed everything down by one. If you ever want to take something off, all you have to do is go back in here, take it off, featured. Let's say I want to disable it, save it, boom, it's off. I've noticed too over here the featured news, sometimes it's a little delayed. So if you are trying to update that, just keep refreshing or wait a few minutes and then it should go away. Yeah, so again, this is a great way to kind of look at everything, make sure everything's organized. Again, the biggest thing is the image. So if we go in here, let's say you're like, you know what, I don't like how that looked on there. I want to change the image. Once you start putting more and more images in there and you're naming them correctly, like I told you, again, your location with some sort of description and the date. That way you don't accidentally overwrite anything you've done in the past. If it's a similar type of photo, you would just press select file. Let's say you type in fall. Okay, it's going to pull up anything fall related. So that's what I mean by naming them creatively. These are from corporate, so just ignore those. But over time, when you start adding more and more images, your library will start to build and you can kind of select what you like. And the same thing is true. You can put a photo in here as well. So let's say you want to put a photo at the very end of this. Make sure you have the cursor where you'd like it, and you're going to press insert image. You can either select an image, and you can click whatever you like, and this is how you kind of resize it. There you go. Let's say you don't like it and you want to put something different. You're going to press the same thing, upload image, and you're always going to organize it into the distributor images category. This is where you'll click to organize everything. I already used this image, but just as an example. So see how it won't let me because the name is there. So let's go like this. Okay, well, these are already in there, so that's why. But it's a good example because it's showing you the error message. So most of the time when it gives you an error message, you know it's either going to be the size, the file type, or the name. So it's trying to put it in there, but this already exists with the exact same name. But again, pretty self-explanatory. If you ever want to link something, you put it in here. Actually, I could just do this. We don't have any pumpkin biscuits right now, but let's just pretend these are pumpkin biscuits. You would copy and paste. You want to open it in a new link. Boom, there it is. So now that's linked. So let's say it's a newsletter. You can even include the product images, any sort of description, a video, something cute for fall. You can pretty much do anything you'd like. Yeah, so if you ever get confused too, our developer has always included these little descriptions everywhere. So most of the time it's just trying to help you and remind you, hey, keep in mind this is happening. So again, all of your news will be flowing into your news section in addition to the corporate news stuff. So let's say I were to just write something on our corporate, it would push everything down. So that would always show first. If I choose a featured article, let's say I wrote a new one about, I don't know, let's say I did a fall blog post and I wanted it to be featured once it becomes fall. If mine is dated newer than yours, it'll automatically push yours down. We are still kind of on the fence about this just because it's so brand new, so that might be different than I think, but a way around that, a workaround is just going in here. Let's say you're like, no, I want to make sure mine is at the top. You would just go back in here and edit your date, so you can change that at any time. And it's under the options section, and again, you would just say, okay, go to today's date, boom. That way it's always newer than mine. And you don't have to try to compete with me in these top 3 spots. I usually don't update this super, super often. I wrote this one like 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and I just did this one this month. So you shouldn't have to worry too much. But if you're someone who's like, okay, I want my September newsletter here, I want my holiday delivery schedule here, and then new products or what's happening with my local community. You could have those always. And again, those do show up on the side here as well as your homepage. Right? This homepage. Yeah, so the news is a great tool, and it's not just a blog, it's also where you're going to store any specific information. So our 10H Strong, we have a campaign going on where we're raising money for a service dog for a veteran in need locally. We're presenting the dog in September, so I embedded a video here. Customers can watch it, within the blog post. They can go full screen if they'd like, or they can even click on this and it'll just link them out to YouTube so they can watch it over here instead of in the blog. So embedding a video looks really nice. These are all linked, so if they want to learn more about the Orange County Police Canine Association, it'll pull it up here. Yeah, so when you have more content, it obviously looks way better, but again, this can be as short and sweet as you want, get to the point. Let's say, your internet was down for the day, or you had some issues with a delivery something, or you were out of stock of something. This is a great way you can make an announcement right away. Personally, the way I would do it, probably for us here locally, anything that's directly related to our Nature Select storefront or updates, things like that, I would put it in the Nature Select news section. And again, you will see our other stuff. I usually don't, the most often I write for our corporate stuff, I'll put it in the tips and tricks, seasonal, and pet health. So your big categories would probably be the Nature Select news, pets, and community. We did change this too. It used to say dogs, but we figured pets is more general. And let's say I know Tony in NorCal does featured pets of the week or featured pets of the month. So you could even do a nice little write-up if you interviewed a customer and kind of had them in there. Again, if you have local events or little things you're trying to promote locally, I would put it in your community section. And this section would be dominantly yours. So I'm not going to really add anything to it for corporate, so you won't have to worry about mine overflowing yours. Seasonal, anything that's, with the different holiday items. Let's say you have Christmas toys. This is a great section to take advantage of. And don't forget about the tags. The tags is really going to come in handy for, labeling purposes. So if you were to come to December here, just as an example, and press Christmas, any Christmas things will show up. So same thing is true if you do, your little local tags, or you do newsletters, let's say. Over time, you're going to have more and more flowing into there. So again, if you have any questions, you're always welcome to let us know. Just a quick recap. We did talk about testimonials, and I just want to remind you too, they only show on that testimonials page. So what that means is your testimonials are going to flow in to this page specifically. So let's say you want to highlight a testimonials section in an email or a monthly newsletter, you would use this link. So it's your location and then this link. What he means by that is on our Nature Select brand site, we have these little blocks here. These are just controlled globally, so they're the same for everyone. Unfortunately, you do not have the capability to change those out yourself. It's only applying to your actual testimonials page. But other than that, that's pretty much everything. Again, if you have any questions about this stuff, contact Chad, Anna, or I, and we'd be happy to help you. If you ever have trouble uploading an image, maybe it's not the right size and you don't know how to redo it, just let me or Chad know. We can do that really quick for you. And the naming thing is going to be really big. So usually I change a name manually on my laptop. Again, your little local nickname, some sort of description of the picture with the date. That's probably the best and easiest way to avoid overriding an image like I had earlier in the video. So other than that, I hope you have a great day and good luck.